On this episode of the Carolina Sports Guy, I'm going to dive in, and the Carolina Sports Guy is going to tell you who the Carolina Panthers need to draft. Or should I say, who's available that I'll be okay with if we draft them. Before we get into today's content, make sure you subscribe. It doesn't cost anything. Pound that like button, hit that bell notification, and by all means, folks, leave me some comments. Uncle Chucky loves a dialogue. All right, folks, just kind of wanted to look at this before we get to the draft here, or the draft's upon us, and we're drafting number 6. And I'll go ahead and tell you, without a second or third round pick, if a couple of people aren't where they need to be at number 6, I'm not apt to trading down. It doesn't bother me if we, and I'll get into that in a minute, if we traded down a few spots or, trade down 6 or 7 spots, we'd still get one of the top 4 or 5 players I feel would be on our board, and we can actually pick up a second rounder, maybe a third rounder, multiple picks. A second, third would be great if we traded down like 6, 7 spots. And that would be perfect, because then we can actually acquire more draft capital, more talent, and make our roster deeper. But the main thing is coming away with the first round with a starter. That's going to be key. Now, who do I feel is available in this draft? Well, in my opinion, if we're picking at number 6, the one player who I hope is there and we draft, number 1 above all, it's probably not everyone, or in the back of my mind, I've got a player that I'll put an asterisk by. But the one guy I think we need is Ekwonu, the left tackle from North Carolina State. I think he'd be a day 1 starter. I think we could take Brady Christensen and make him our left guard. With Bozeman coming in from Baltimore as a 1-year center, if he can stick and do well, and we've got Taylor Moton on the right side, and it kind of leaves us, really at least solidifies our line. Because, we signed the one guy from the Super Bowl, defending Super Bowl champion Rams, as our right guard, and plus Deontay Brown is out there as well from this roster. So I think would really solidify our line, and I think Ekwonu makes the most sense. Now, if he's not there, or if this organization decides to go with Evan Neal, a tackle from Alabama. Now, I've seen a couple red flags on him. He's a big man. But I've seen him go as high as number 1 or 2 in this draft, according to some draft experts. Wouldn't have a problem with Evan Neal, but not over Ekwonu if we can get him. But like I said, I have no problem with either one. Those are my first 2 takes. Now, the one asterisk player I got, the one guy I think who, if he is available and we draft him, would be excellent for us, is Aiden Hutchinson, the defensive end from Michigan, because I think he's just starting to make it. And I think pairing him with Brian Burns on that defensive line is going to wreak a lot of havoc. Now, does it help our offensive line? No, and it's going to be the same situation, but man, what it would do for our defense. What it would do to turn this defense up, to have a player the caliber of maybe should I say a Julius Peppers, but a guy who really could wreak havoc on the defensive line. And it's just a wild card. I really want the left tackle, but I'm not going to rule that out if he's there. And then let's just say the offensive tackles are gone and he is available. I'd go for him. Thibodeau, the defensive lineman, the defensive end from Oregon's out there. I'm not as sold on him. Wouldn't bother me, though, if he was available and we drafted him. Let's say if Hutchinson was gone. Now, a couple of players that I would not mind drafting. Charles Cross. And Charles Cross could be the draft pick at number 6. If Hutchinson's gone, and let's say Neal's gone, and let's say Ekwonu's gone, let's say Thibodeau's gone, and let's just say that they're gone and we're down to pick number 6. We may have to take Charles Cross. I feel that we could trade probably down to number 9 and still get Cross, and maybe pick up an additional, third round pick, or maybe even a second if a team is desperate enough to trade up. Say they want a Malik Willis, or maybe they're going for a Kenny Pickett, and we trade down and still can get a Charles Cross. I have no problem getting Charles Cross if we can't get the other left tackles. The only other player that I would really be interested in the first round of this pick, and I've seen people who frowned on him, don't like him, But I think if we could trade down from 6 to possibly number 13 or 14, Trevor Penning, the tackle from Northern Iowa. Some people don't like his game. I feel if we got him in the teens and we traded down, and by trading to the teens, we got someone second or third round pick together, we have day 2 picks. And if Penning turns out to be better than what people think and what I think he can be, I would be fine with that. But number 1 to me is Aquano. Number 2 is Evan Neal. Number 3, like I said, is Hutchinson. Number 4, like I said, would be Thibodeau. I have no problem with Charles Cross if it comes down to it, or even trading down a couple picks and getting him. And then, like I said, Trevor Penning. The only other player in the wild card, and the only reason why I'm not even bringing him up, if we were deep at every position and we're just picking the best available player, Kyle Hamilton, the safety out of Notre Dame, would be awesome. To pair him with Jeremy Chin. We're talking about safety, not saying he's Ed Reed, but we'd actually have a starter you could pencil in for probably a decade if he can be what I think he can be. Unfortunately, the team that we have, we're quarterback needy. We definitely need offensive line help. And we need a linebacker very badly. So safety, even though it is a concern to a point, the only way I'd take Hamilton is if there was nobody available that we needed to draft and we couldn't find anybody to trade down with, and we just took the best available player, and he was the one that was there. Okay, folks, what do you think of today's video? Who would you like to see us draft? Who's your number 1 player? Leave me some comments. I love the dialogue. Pound that like button. Hit that bell notification to be notified of future videos like this on the Carolina Panthers. And by all means, folks, subscribe is free. Help Uncle Chucky out. I want to see you next time on another episode of Carolina Sports Guy.